For decades, football was called a man's game. The pads were heavy, the hits were brutal, and the doors were closed. But what happens when passion refuses to be sidelined? This is the untold story of how girls changed the game forever. Before we continue with the video and my further explanation about girls flag football, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Thank you very much in advance. Okay, let's continue. Long before stadium lights and organized leagues, girls were already playing football in backyards, schoolyards, and empty fields. They weren't waiting for permission, they were simply playing. This wasn't some grand organized movement at first, but rather a spontaneous explosion of youthful energy and a natural inclination to be part of the most popular American sport. Imagine dirt-stained knees, scraped elbows, and the joyful shouts echoing through suburban streets or rural pastures. The rules were often made up on the fly, adapted to the number of players available, the size of the field, and the inherent desire to minimize bumps and bruises while maximizing fun. What made this possible, what truly unlocked the game for so many, was the humble flag. With no pads, no helmets, and no explicit permission from any adult, flag football became the gateway. It stripped away the intimidating, often exclusionary armor of traditional tackle football and offered a safer, more accessible version of the game, but crucially, no less intense. The competitive spirit, the thrill of the chase, the strategy of a well-executed play, all of it was there, just without the bone-jarring tackles. This wasn't a watered-down version of football for them. It was their football. It was a game defined by agility, quick thinking, and teamwork, not just brute force. Initially, these were just informal games, pickup contests on a whim. Maybe it was a group of sisters and their friends challenging their brothers, or perhaps neighborhood kids just looking for something to do on a lazy summer afternoon. The stakes were simple, bragging rights until the next game. But in these seemingly innocent skirmishes, seeds were being sown. Girls learned to read defenses, to run routes, to throw a spiral, and to understand the rhythm of the game. They developed an innate feel for the field, a sense of anticipation that would later prove invaluable. They weren't just mimicking, they were innovating, adapting the game to their own strengths and styles. This early, unburdened play fostered a deep love for football, a passion that would refuse to be confined to the informal boundaries of a backyard. The very idea of a girl playing football was often met with surprise, sometimes amusement, and occasionally outright disapproval. Society at large hadn't yet fully embraced the concept of girls in traditionally male-dominated sports, especially one as physically demanding and culturally ingrained as football. But these girls, fueled by an undeniable desire to play, pushed past those unspoken rules. They weren't asking for a league, they were just finding a way to play. The flag was their silent protest, their quiet revolution. It allowed them to engage with the sport they loved, to feel the exhilaration of competition, to learn the invaluable lessons of teamwork and resilience, all while sidestepping the rigid expectations that sought to keep them on the sidelines. What started as informal fun, a simple solution to an unspoken longing, slowly but surely began to coalesce into something more significant: a movement. A movement born from the simple, pure joy of play. This wasn't just about recreation, it was about reclaiming a piece of the sporting landscape, one pull of a flag at a time. The groundswell was building quietly, passionately, across countless forgotten fields and sun-drenched playgrounds, laying the groundwork for a future that few could yet imagine. For years, the resounding message to girls was clear: football wasn't for them. It was a refrain heard in homes, on playgrounds, and often, implicitly, in the lack of opportunities available. The narrative was set, rigid and unyielding, dictating what sports were appropriate and what weren't. Girls were encouraged towards ballet, gymnastics, or perhaps volleyball, but the gridiron remained an exclusively male domain. This wasn't just a lack of invitation, it was an active discouragement, rooted in outdated stereotypes about physical capabilities, perceived fragility, and the very essence of femininity. It was a societal barrier as formidable as any defensive line. But flag football, in its deceptive simplicity, became a Trojan horse. It gave these passionate girls something profoundly powerful: access. It provided an entry point that didn't demand a full contact overhaul of their bodies, didn't require them to conform to preconceived notions of toughness measured solely by collisions. Instead, it highlighted agility, strategy, and precision, qualities that girls naturally possessed and were eager to showcase. This subtle shift in emphasis was revolutionary. When a girl could pull a flag, score a touchdown, and lead her team to victory without a single helmet, it forced a reevaluation. The resistance and skepticism were palpable. Coaches, athletic directors, and even some parents initially viewed it as a novelty, a lesser imitation of the real game. There were murmurs of, "it's not proper football," or concerns that it would distract from other, more suitable girls' sports. The idea of girls competing fiercely in a sport so intrinsically linked to masculinity challenged deep-seated norms. Yet, slowly but surely, these early pioneers began to chip away at those barriers. They weren't just playing, they were performing. They demonstrated an undeniable skill, a breathtaking speed, and a strategic prowess that simply couldn't be ignored. When schools, communities, and youth programs started to take notice, it wasn't out of charity or obligation, but out of genuine admiration for the quality of play on display. The athleticism was clear, the dedication undeniable, and the competitive fire burned just as brightly as in any boys' game. What began as scattered, informal teams gradually blossomed into organized leagues, first locally, then regionally. Stories emerged of star quarterbacks, lightning-fast receivers, and impenetrable defensive lines, all composed of girls who had previously been told this wasn't their arena. The transformation wasn't instantaneous. It was a slow, often arduous process of proving, reproving, and consistently pushing for recognition. Every win, every highlight reel, every packed sideline filled with cheering parents and classmates served as another brick pulled from the wall of skepticism. Girls weren't just playing football, they were mastering it. They were developing intricate plays, executing precise passes, and demonstrating an understanding of the game's nuances that rivaled their male counterparts. This wasn't just about scoring points, it was about shattering expectations. It was about forging identities, building confidence, and proving that talent knows no gender. The rise of organized teams and school programs marked a critical turning point. It provided structure, legitimacy, and a platform for these athletes to truly shine. This slow but steady shift in perception was critical, not just for the players, but for the entire sporting landscape, forcing a broader conversation about inclusion, opportunity, and the true meaning of athletic excellence, regardless of who was holding the ball. Fast forward to today, and the transformation is nothing short of astounding. Girls flag football is not just a burgeoning sport, it is one of the fastest-growing sports in the entire world. What was once overlooked, relegated to the sidelines of sports conversations, is now not only recognized but celebrated with a fervor that would have been unimaginable just a few decades ago. The evolution from informal backyard games to a globally recognized phenomenon is a testament to the unyielding spirit of these athletes and the foresight of those who championed the sport. The modern era of girls flag football is defined by an electrifying blend of athleticism, intelligence, and pure competitive fire. Step onto a field today, and you'll witness an explosion of talent. Precision passing that carves through defenses with surgical accuracy, lightning-fast routes run with a grace and urgency that leave defenders grasping at air, and elite athleticism showcased in every jump ball, every nimble evasion, and every open field sprint. This isn't just about participation anymore, it's about peak performance. Athletes are training with the same dedication and intensity as any other elite sport, focusing on strength, conditioning, strategy, and mental fortitude. Crucially, this isn't a watered-down version of football. Far from it, this is evolution. The absence of heavy pads and full contact tackles doesn't diminish the sport, it refines it. It emphasizes a different kind of football, one where intelligence and agility often triumph over sheer size. Quarterbacks must possess incredible vision and decision-making skills to find open receivers in tight windows. Receivers need exceptional hands, footwork, and route-running precision to create separation. Defenders rely on anticipation, speed, and disciplined positioning to pull flags and disrupt plays. Every player on the field, regardless of position, contributes to a fast-paced, high-scoring, and incredibly strategic game. Modern girls flag football has become a showcase for speed, demanding quick bursts and relentless pursuit. It's a testament to intelligence as teams employ complex playbooks and adapt strategies on the fly. And above all, it's a profound demonstration of teamwork. Every player has a vital role, and cohesion is paramount for success. The opportunities available now are unparalleled compared to the informal beginnings. We see competitive high school leagues flourishing across states, with some even offering state championships. Colleges are increasingly recognizing the sport, with many offering scholarships and establishing varsity programs. From regional tournaments to international competitions, the sport is providing pathways for aspiring athletes to compete at the highest levels, to earn an education, and even to represent their country. This isn't just a game, it's a legitimate athletic pursuit, a viable career path for some, and a powerful platform for personal growth and achievement for many. The energy is electric, the talent is undeniable, and the future is boundless. Girls flag. Football is more than just a sport played on a field. It's a powerful crucible where young women forge futures, build character, and discover strengths they never knew they possessed. Look into the eyes of a young girl playing flag football, and you don't just see an athlete. You see a future leader, a confident voice, a tenacious spirit. This game is a profound builder of confidence. With every successful catch, every flag pull, every touchdown scored, girls learn to trust their instincts, to believe in their abilities, and to celebrate their achievements. They learn to stand tall even after a setback and to push forward with unwavering determination. Beyond individual triumphs, the sport is an incredible incubator for leadership. On the field, girls learn to communicate, to motivate their teammates, to make quick decisions under pressure, and to take responsibility for their actions. They experience firsthand the power of collective effort and the importance of supporting one another towards a common goal. These aren't just athletic skills, they are life skills that translate directly into classrooms, careers, and communities. It instills a deep sense of belief in oneself, belief in one's team, and belief in the limitless possibilities that lie ahead. It dismantles old notions of what girls can and cannot do, replacing them with a vibrant vision of capability and resilience. The impact extends far beyond the sidelines. When young girls watch these games, whether it's a high school championship, a college showcase, or even a professional exhibition, they see themselves reflected in the athletes. They see role models who are strong, skilled, intelligent, and fiercely competitive. They see that the highest levels of football are no longer just for boys. This visual representation is incredibly powerful, sparking dreams and inspiring a new generation to pick up a flag, learn the game, and claim their place on the field. The sight of girls training with purpose, celebrating victories with unbridled joy, and simply smiling as they play is a testament to the sheer happiness and fulfillment the sport brings. This beautiful, evolving story is far from over. Girls flag football is a declaration that the game, in all its forms, belongs to anyone bold enough to play it, to anyone willing to put in the work, to anyone with a passion for competition and camaraderie. It's a narrative of inclusion, empowerment, and breaking down artificial barriers. The sport's future is brighter than ever with increasing investment, expanding opportunities, and a growing global community. It's a testament to how passion, resilience, and a simple flag can change the world of sports forever, creating a legacy that will inspire generations to come. And this incredible, impactful story, and is still being written. One play, one game, one determined girl at a time. From backyards to global recognition, this is the origin of girls flag football. And at Origins of the Game, we tell the stories that deserve to be remembered.